Hi everyone, it's Koffe here, and I'm here with Coffee with Cole, and I've got a very special young lady here that I just have to share with everyone. And I'm so proud to say that Molly is from my home city of Derby. I met her, only about 3 or 4 months ago. And the moment I started speaking to Molly, who is only 21, by the way, 21, that's incredible. The moment I started speaking to her, I was so inspired. And I thought to myself, there is going to be a day where I interview Molly. And we bumped into each other again at another event, and she was the same person. And, you know, there's a sense of very quiet focus that I'd noticed with Molly. And there's this sense of humility, but this sense of focus on her business. And I'm so impressed by that. And the fact that she was only 21. We had a small conversation at the start of our journey 3 months ago, and we're going to talk about that conversation in a short while. So Molly is the founder and the owner of Molly V Bakes. Molly V Bakes is an all-vegan business that cooks the most delicious things that you can imagine. Seriously, when I thought about vegan cookery, vegan cakes, I used to have this image in my mind that they're going to be dry, they're going to be boring. She's changed my life. Really, she's transformed the way I think and the way I see vegan cookery now. Now, most of you will know that I have been a vegetarian a long, long time. The only thing that stops me from being a vegan is the fact that I still love cheese. I still love cheese, Molly. I'm ever so sorry. I still love cheese. I love cheese, and I can't find a vegan alternative to cheese. And that's the only thing that stops me from becoming a full vegan. I don't drink milk. I don't do meat, fish, or eggs. I haven't done that for 14 years. So this lady here is inspiring me, and who knows, I may just switch. I just need to find the right cheese, So Molly, thank you so much, and welcome to the show today.
Yeah, hi there. It's really nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I know that you're going to resonate with so many people who are watching this show, because it's not just about the business that you create. I want to get into your mindset. I want to get into how you think and the journey that you've been on to get to where you are right now in such a short space of time. I mean, we're talking less than a year to where you are right now. It's just mind-blowing. So Molly, I just want to start with, so you created this business because you were a vegan. And I just want to really start with exploring that. So what was it that turned you to veganism?
Well, what turned me to veganism was, I was veggie for like a year or so before I was vegan. And then I kind of like exposed myself to a few documentaries, but then I thought, well, that's just a documentary. I need to do a bit more research. I had to do reading, I had to get books and just find why people were vegetarian when there was veganism. So why have that like middle stage of being veggie? Yeah. Why not just be vegan? Like, what is it about milk and eggs that you have as a vegetarian but not as a vegan? So I found out about like the dairy industry, and I just woke up one day after finding that out, and I just couldn't drink milk or eat eggs after that, and it just carried on. Like, there was enough willpower in me to not want to pay into that industry, to just give it up. Like, it was an immediate decision.
I completely understand that. I wrote a book called Smash the Habit, which describes to people how I gave up habits overnight. 14 years ago, I gave up meat, fish, eggs overnight. I gave up alcohol on the same night and smoking on the same night. And when your mind is in such a place, you have absolute clarity. You can just do it, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if it's the right reason. Like, people go vegan for a lot of reasons, like your health, and then there's the environment, and then the animals. And I think if it is the animals, or you just can't, in my mind, I couldn't think, oh, cheese tastes nice, or I want scrambled egg. Like, there was no way around it. I wasn't going to eat that, because I just cared too much about where it had come from and how it was produced and what process it was all going through.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, when you suddenly came downstairs and you said to your mom, like I said to my family, I'm no longer doing all of these things. They laughed at me.
It was terrifying.
What was it like when you came downstairs and you said to your mom or your dad or your sister, whoever, right, guys, I ain't doing this anymore? What was the response?
yeah, like the biggest shock I think was when I went vegetarian, because they were like, all you've eaten your whole life has been meat and potatoes. You're never going to do this. You'll be eating a bacon sandwich next week. And I was like, watch me. And then that, they kind of just adjusted to it and thought, okay, she's not going back. And then going vegan, they were just like, what are you going to eat? They just, because I think that generation hadn't necessarily exposed themselves to like an alternate diet, or my family. I'm like the only vegan. No one's vegetarian in the family apart from me being vegan, and it was a big shock. But I think when I proved to them like I was still eating colourful meals, I was still eating yummy meals, they were like, oh, it's okay, it's just different, but it's okay. But you just have to make sure you're getting like if you're going to take cheese out your diet, you need to eat fat still, so eat avocado. If you rule it out, you're going to get like deficiencies and feel like low energy. So you need, I think people could go vegan and do it wrong and then be like, oh, it didn't work for me, I went back to eating meat. It's because they didn't replace it properly or didn't eat enough. Like the volume of my foods just went like doubled because I needed to eat more.
And the other thing is, I mean, that's such a strong point from a health perspective to make with anyone turning into vegetarian or veganism in particular. Always look for what is it that you're regularly eating in terms of nutrients that it's now taking out of your diet. You know, I replace a lot of my nutrients now with some vitamins that I take every single morning. So I've created a whole new routine, like vitamin D and vitamin B in particular. I don't have those, and I can't take cod liver oil or anything fish related. So I have to look to how do I supplement that. But there's so much within nature as well, you know, in terms of proteins. People say, oh, you need eggs and chicken for protein, but actually you can get hemp, you can get beans and pulses, and there's lots of
in every plant food there is all of the amino acids. So there's no need to eat meat, because obviously those animals, the cows, are eating the greens and the plants, and that's going through their bodies, and that's why we think we get protein from animals. So you can just cut out that middleman and eat the plants, and you're getting every amino acid that you need. So you do get enough protein.
Right. So, and that's so right. So in essence, what you're saying is, you know, being a vegan doesn't mean that you're going to be that archetypal image that you have of this vegan who's like, you know, stick thin and not very healthy. And I know bodybuilders who are vegan and they look strong, you know? So Molly, you know, in this second part of our chat, I'd really like to discuss your journey with Molly V-Bakes, and how it inspired you. Where do you come from? Where was the idea born from? Why did you do it? So how did your journey start?
When it was my birthday in January, when I was 21, my mum went looking everywhere for a vegan birthday cake for me, and she couldn't find one. So she basically said to me, she was like, Molly, I didn't want to have to tell you this, but where can I get you a vegan cake from? And I was just like, I really don't know. Like, I don't know anyone that like stands out as I do vegan cakes in Derby. So we did end up getting one from sort of Matlock, but that's not Derby. So I had my birthday cake. It was lovely, but I thought, I can do this, and I can do it on a whole different spectrum. I can do brownies, I can do cupcakes, I can do birthday cakes, wedding cakes. Like, there was so much that came into my head. So initially I just started recipe testing because I had a bit more time on my hands. I only worked part-time at that time. So I just tested and tested different recipes, different chocolates, different ratios, everything, and then took them out to cafes that I'd just go to for lunch and sort of knew them and thought, oh, they don't have any vegan options, I'll see what they think of mine. Because there is a stigma with thinking that vegan food just tastes like weird, or you've hidden broccoli in it or something. But that's not the case. It can taste good. So took them to the cafes, got the feedback, and they just started placing orders to the point where I was just blown away by it. So I carried on taking them the deliveries. It was brilliant. The word got around, and through that I'd get birthday cake orders or just inquiries about like, oh, how do you make a cake without eggs? And by that point I'd built my social media a little bit, and it was just so nice to have the interaction with people that were interested. It was just such a shock. And it just basically like snowballed from there. Took on more cafes and reduced my hours at work and grew the social media. It all just sort of helped each other, but it was a lot for me to do on my own at that time.
The incredible thing, Molly, is that this business has been going for how many months now, would you say?
About 7 months now.
About 7 months, not even a year
Yeah.
old. And yet I've been into a couple of cafeterias, cafes around the Derby area, and I've seen vegan cakes. In fact, one of my favorite cafes is a One World Peace Cafe
Yeah.
at the Tara Buddhist Center in
Yeah,
Epsom.
it's beautiful.
And I go there very often to sit, and I'll work in that cafe. It's a beautiful space, and it's a, really really soothing, and I find I get really creative there. And so I'll always drink the green tea and maybe have a slice of cake. And then I saw some vegan cakes there, and they look really delicious. And I said to them, I said, "Oh wow, you got vegan cakes?" She says, "Yeah, it's a really lovely girl who comes here and she bakes these cakes." And I said, "The name's not Molly, is it?" She says, "I think it is." So you're like everywhere, and people know you in our locality within 7 months. You're
There's
quite busy, aren't
eight
you?
cafes now. Yeah, there's 8 places that I supply to, and that's across Derby. There's about 4 in central Derby, and then the others are sort of Oakwood and obviously Etwall for the World Peace Centre. And
Yeah.
I have got inquiries in Nottingham and Belper, but currently I don't have the capacity to take them on. But I will be doing, because that's
So
amazing.
currently, you are working at breakneck speed. You're full to capacity. You have a waiting list of people that want your cakes. You have a waiting list of cafes that want your
Yeah.
cakes. So that, for any business owner, it would be a really cool position to be in. Well done, you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, we've got something really exciting launching on Monday. I can't say anything yet, but if you go onto Facebook on Monday, there'll be something
Oh,
really
wow. Guys, you need to. So, have you got your own page, by the way?
Yeah, on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. So, what's it called? If people want to look for it.
vbakes.molly.
vbakes.molly. Get onto Facebook, guys. Watch vbakes.molly and look for this exciting news on Monday, which is like in 3 or 4 days' time.
Yeah, it's Christmassy themed. Yeah.
Christmassy theme. Well, I'm going to tease it out of Molly out of the interview anyway, because I used to be a police officer at the end of the day. If I can't interview and get an answer, hey, I'm pretty useless. But no, seriously, get onto Facebook and find out what it's all about. So, Molly, you've grown your business in 7 months. You've got to full capacity. I've seen you with another lady who helps you. So is that a member of your staff? Is that a member of the team? Who is that person?
One time my mum helped me, and then another time my friend helped me. I think it would have been my friend when you saw me.
Yeah, I think
I used to work with her. Yeah, she's lovely. So she's really supportive of Bee Bakes, but she has moved to Scotland now, really sadly. So it's good for her. But
so when are you going to hire your mum and be your mum's boss?
Well, I think she's sort of warming to the idea a lot now. Like, she loves going on deliveries. She's like, "Oh, they were so nice. They're really nice, all you stockists." Yeah, she loves it. She loves it.
She does know that you will be the boss.
Yeah.
You've made that pretty clear to her.
Yeah.
That's always a challenge. See, Molly, I'm hopefully people are getting an idea of how quickly your business has grown and how unique your business is. I mean, I've tried your cakes and they are super delicious. We've tried them a couple of times now and they are super, super delicious, guys. You just would not think that they're vegan. The word vegan doesn't even come into my mind when I'm sitting there.
Exactly what I want, yeah.
I don't even label things. I hate labels anyway in life. I hate people being labeled vegan, vegetarian, or whatever. When people say to me, "Oh, so you don't have meat, you don't have fish, you don't have eggs, you don't have milk. So what does that make you?" I says, "I don't know. It makes me meat, to be honest."
Yeah, totally. So,
but yeah.
Well, I had a lady message me this morning that said she'd been into a cafe, tried one of my cakes. She's not vegan, and she couldn't believe how good the cake was. Like, she'd never had vegan cake that tasted nice, and then she wants me to do her wedding cake, and she's not even vegan. Like, that's just insane. And that could turn her opinion on veganism or her guests at her wedding's opinion on veganism around and have such an impact. So that's amazing.
What you're actually doing here is making veganism mainstream.
Yeah, making it nice, not hippie and weird.
Yeah, you could end up inspiring people to become vegan because it's a healthy choice anyway,
Yeah. Well, I've got a magazine article out today.
Yeah.
In this, it's in Taste the Seasons, Derby magazine.
Yeah.
So anywhere, a lot of cafes in Derby will have this in, and my article's in it, so people can read it and learn more about veganism. So yeah.
Well done. Well done. But Molly, just looking at you now, big smile on your face, you're looking really radiant, really positive, but it's not always been like this, has it?
No, 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 definitely not. Before I started V-Bakes, I was not very well at all. About a year and a half ago, it sort of kicked in. Very ill with like bad depression, anxiety, mental health was just rock bottom. Lost a heck of a lot of weight, and just not me at all. Like I describe it as just I wasn't me for a year. I was somebody else.
Yeah.
And then this Christmas just gone, I just had a sudden swarm of motivation and just decided that there was a life to be lived out there. Like I was given life and I had no motivation for it, but then I decided, you've got this life, go and make the most of it. If you're not happy with your job, you're not happy with your situation, then you get out of bed and change it. Yeah. So just after Christmas went by, I had a lot of motivation just seeing like people happy around Christmas, and like that year before I was in a very, very, very dark place, and that Christmas again, the Christmas after, I sort of thought, this is not happening again. Like you have got to get healthy, you've got both mentally and physically. I've got to gain this weight back that I'd lost. I've got to find something to live for, because I was obviously just not very happy at all. Yeah, to walk from like the car to the shop was enough in the day. Like I worked 3 days a week, and then 4 days a week I would just be in bed like healing. It was just horrible. And then because you're that low weight, you then think, oh, I've got no energy to do anything, and then that's just a cycle of like sadness and depression, because you feel like you've got no energy to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's just a constant cycle of depression. So to get out of that is like massively difficult, but when you do get out of it, there's so much to live for. Like I would never have imagined this to happen last year. Like this year I would have never seen myself here.
You just went in the right mind space then.
I was just a different person. Yeah. But then now, like I feel like I want to use my story to help other people that were in an extremely dark place, and show them that right now you might not feel like you can ever get out of that hole, but I pulled myself out of it. And yes, you have a supportive family and people that care about you, but ultimately, if you don't want to get better, you won't. Like you have to want to get better. So you have to find something to cling on to pull you out of that hole, because you have to. Like life is amazing.
It's
that's what I'm in now. Yeah.
I've been through plenty of dark spaces in my life. I'm a bit older than you, a couple of years older than you. And I've been through a few dark places in my life. And, the reason why I created my annual event, Ignite Your Potential, is to remind people it doesn't matter how dark your life seems right now. There is literally always light around you. You just need to find the light switch, and you can find that light switch. You just need to think.
You just like wake up, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, so not only has your business grown in 7 months,
I've grown.
A year ago, you have grown since who you were a year ago. You were spending most of your time in bed unless you were working on your part-time job. You had no energy. You had no will to really survive. You were just existing.
Yeah, and like to see your family so sad that you are just so unmotivated and you don't want to do anything. It just breaks their hearts, and I don't think you see that till you're out the other side and you look back.
Yeah.
Because if you looked on yourself when you're in that position as an outsider, you'd just think, what are you doing? But when you're in that position, you can't see that, and it's horrible. So to show other people that like, there is a light and you can get better would be so amazing, because it was a bad situation and a really negative time, but if I can use it to positively impact other people, then that would be amazing.
That's absolutely incredible. So you are where you are right now. I just want to talk a bit about your future. I know bits about your amazing plans going forward, but I really want you to share that with everybody else. We have to keep reminding people that not only have you given birth to a business, that in 7 months you are now you're oversubscribed. In 7 months you can't keep up with the demand, and you can't bring any more cafes on just yet. You will do, I know you will.
Yeah.
You can't bring them on because you haven't got the capacity right now, but just over 7 months ago, just before you started this business, you had severe depression, severe anxiety. You had given up on any dreams, any hope, any aspirations, and suddenly you had this beautiful burst of motivation all of a sudden. And thank goodness you latched onto that, and then you created V-Bake. So you've turned your life around incredibly in less than a year. That is just incredible. It just is. It takes my, I can't get the words to express that because I think it's so beautiful. So, okay, so let's talk about the future. One of the things when we first met, by the way, that you said to me, I said to you then, because I'm so interested in people's dreams and aspirations. I said to you something like, so where are you going to be in 12 months time? He says, Cole, one of the things I want to be able to do is I want to be able to give up my job at some point and work on Molly's V-Bakes full time. Can you remember saying that to me?
Yeah.
So did you ever manage to do that?
Yeah, like just recently, I just took the leap. Like I was spreading myself far too thin, trying to please everyone, trying to do a part-time job successfully and trying to do V-Bakes. And
brilliant.
After a lot of thought, you can't spread yourself that thin and do a good job at something that you really love. Like V-Bakes is the goal. Like I just had to make a decision, and it's definitely the right one. Yeah.
Good for you, Molly. Good for you.
Thank you.
So now that you can dedicate all your time, all your energy to V-Bakes, what are we going to do with it? What's going to happen to V-Bakes? Like, where's it going to be in a year's time?
Well, the project that's launching Monday will be a year-long project, hopefully longer than that. It's a test year for this Monday project, so that's really amazing.
I'm really excited about this project. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. And it's
look how cool she is, guys. By the way, guys, she's not letting anything away. She's got this poker face on. That's pretty
Monday.
cool.
I can't really. It needs to be an impact on Monday. And that's a collaboration with another brand that's really another young brand, and they're really, really talented, and they want to help me, and I want to help them, and we're just supporting each other as small businesses. So that will be launched Monday, which is really exciting. And then we're converting our garage into a commercial kitchen, so I'll be able to do all my baking, take on those new suppliers, stockists, and it'll be like a real business because I'll have a location to report to, and even have clients in for tastings, because I've got a couple of wedding cake tastings planned for next year, and I'd love to have them at the V-Bakes headquarters. And then I want to do a lot more events and go out and visit people at like food events and just talk about what I've done and what I want from V-Bakes and how I want it to change people's perspectives on veganism and just inspire people. And then I want to stay in the kitchen, but I don't want to just bake every day. I want there to be more to it than that. I want to get out there and talk to people and not just stay in the bakery. I want to talk to people and inspire people.
So do you think there might come a point in time when you have more members in your team and perhaps more people from within your team are doing the cooking and you become more strategic?
I think
you're expanding.
I want to always be with the customer. I never want to let someone do my emails or do my social media. I need to be that person going to the meetings, meeting the customers on deliveries. If there's someone else in the kitchen doing my recipes, they're my recipes still. So I don't think the quality of my bakes would change because I'd find the right person. But I always want to be the face of V-Bakes. I don't want to let that side go. So say in 5 years' time, I'd love to have a shop. It's a bakery in the back and a counter with all my cakes in. And hopefully in Derby, that will be the location for it because I feel like Derby's going that way. But I always want to be the one behind that counter representing the brand. I never want to let go of that.
Do you know what I think? Here's a prediction for you. I actually think that you'll achieve that in way less than 5 years. If you look at the trajectory that you've been on now in 7 months, what you've achieved, if you look at the natural course of that, I actually think that you can get to having a shop of your own in Derby much quicker than that. I think you can do that. I have no reason why you can't do that in much less than 5 years' time. I can see you doing that.
Derby is becoming a lot more like welcoming to those more diverse angles. So. And I do think somewhere like Sadlergate or like Friargate, those areas would be quite well responding to.
I think Derby as a city is going through a massive cultural change, and there's a reason why I brought my annual personal development event into Derby. It's because it's my home city, and I sense that something magical is happening in Derby, and something is going on because I only launched this event in January 2017. I had 70 people at the event. Then I brought it to Derby this January. I had 200 people, and then in 8 weeks time we're having the next annual event in Derby, and that's 400 people, and I've already talked to somebody else in Derby who wants to help me take it to 800 people in a year's time. Talking about your future itself, we're gonna have the kitchen built at your house. At some point you're gonna have to have you're gonna have to have more staff, and you might be hiring your mum at some point. Providing she signs a contract to say that you're her boss. I think that's quite important.
Never gives the recipes away.
Yeah, exactly. Don't give the recipes away, because mums can do that kind of thing, you know. They get excited. Oh yeah, it's the recipe has to be a secret, and you are going to, I reckon, in a year's time you'll be looking for a shop, and I can see that happening, and you're going to create this brand called Molly. But you know, when we were talking before, you were also talking about you wanted to do something aside from the business. You also wanted to do something that was sort of giving back. You know, every great business person thinks about the business, but they also think about giving back to society. Do you want to just share what that was?
Yeah, so I think because I didn't just get V-Bakes like without me being poorly, to be honest. I think I needed to have something come out of that illness to make me carry on, and to get out of that dark place. There was a lot of supportive people around me, like counsellors and doctors and my family, and along that journey I met a lot of other really, really, really poorly people. And some of them are still ill now with their illnesses, and just to give something back to those people and people like them and people that will come along in years' times with mental illnesses. Like, I don't think mental illness will ever die out of society. Like, it's something that most of us deal with or have dealt with, and I'd like to find a way through baking to help those people make it a little bit easier, like take their mind away from the illness. Because if you've ever had a mental illness, you'll know that when you're feeling down or fixated on something, you cannot think about anything else other than what's on your mind at the time. Nothing will take your mind off it. But I do believe that there are mechanisms of like distraction that can help that, just to relax your mind for an hour just away from your torturous mind would be amazing when you're poorly. So I want to put on like baking classes and workshops for people, just to let them play and relax and be creative and take their mind away from whatever's torturing their mind.
I think that really is a beautiful image going forward. And you know, mental illness, people just don't realize how pervasive it is in society. It's affecting so many of us, and we only know about those that, you know, end up going to the doctor and become one of the statistics. But actually there's a lot of people, and I deal with this all the time, there's a lot of people that I come across, and some of these are high-level professionals, some of these are successful people in their own right, but inside their head, inside their mind, they're just beating themselves up. They feel worthless, they doubt themselves, they even bully themselves, and they self-sabotage. You know, there's a lot of people out there going through this, and I think it's such a positive message that you would share, and to do it through the fun of baking. I think that would be quite different and quite magical. So well done, Molly. Well done on everything that you've done so far. I can't do anything but wish you the very best of luck. I know that you and I will stay connected anyway. I look forward to seeing you. You're going to be coming to Ignite Your Inner Potential in January.
Yeah, definitely.
I look forward to seeing you there, and we'll have a bit of a dance together, and maybe you'll tell me what your surprise is as well after.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find out by then.
I'm sure I will. Listen, thank you so much, Molly, for joining us today on Coffee with Cole, and all the very best in all your ventures, and well done on everything that you've achieved so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.